Chapter 14. Cole. I'd waited up long past my bedtime to find out what Keys had told his friend, and I had to tell him about the Volvo he'd tried to convince me to put out to pasture years before. Keys sauntered into the bedroom, sat on the bed, and I tucked a pillow behind my head and sat up after placing a book on the nightstand. Glancing over at him, he looked harried, but not drunk. "How did it go?" "Better than I thought." Then he leaned over me, gave me a warm kiss, our mouths devouring the other, reminding me that you are the best person for me. Sometimes I forget. "What brought this on?" I turned to him and placed my eyeglasses on the side table where they sat near the lube and book. He glanced at me. "No condoms tonight?" You know how the expression goes, casual Fridays. Well, it's condomless Fridays. "I need to take a shower first and brush my teeth," Keys said with an eagerness that I hadn't heard in his voice before. "But I love to smell your breath when you drink, because you hardly do. I want to fill my head with a fantasy of you climbing off your motorcycle, a glass of bourbon in your hand, you walk into a bar, our eyes lock, and you drag me outside in an alley and throw me across your motorcycle. Well, I had enough to drink tonight, so half of your fantasy is true. You never told me that you wanted," he said with a shine in his eyes. Maybe it was from the liquor, but I liked the way he looked at me. A mental note for next time. Keys unbuttoned his shirt as he aimed a sexy, mysterious smile my way, and he dropped his shirt and slacks, toed off his shoes, and stepped into the shower before I got an eyeful of his perfect hard ass and wide muscular shoulders. I promised tonight it was bareback all the way, unless something changed between now and the time he exited the shower. When Keys stepped out, hair wet and a large towel covering his towel, and stepped into bed. His breath had my erection heavy, because there was one thing I liked about a man was to smell coffee in the morning, and liquor before I'd. It had been a long time and Keys didn't want to drink, and I understood and agreed to that. He'd been on strong medication before, and he didn't want to exchange pills for drinks after he'd gotten off the medication. Keys was much stronger than I was, and I couldn't imagine what he'd gone through and still be the easygoing man that he was. I guessed everyone was different, and it took opposites to attract, and right now he was as opposite of me as anyone. He appeared to be the top with his strong, imposing body, and anyone would take me for the bottom, but we were different in every way. "How do you want me tonight, baby?" "I'd like you tied up, your hands in handcuffs where you can't move, so I can have my way with you." "Maybe. But you can do that now." "That's not as much fun as seeing you in restraints, unable to move, and maybe with a gag," I added with a slow kiss, as each word elicited a sexual response, and "How about if we schedule that for next casual Friday?" Keys said, "And tonight fuck me like your life depends on it."